Let's get started. We are here. We are here in the house presenting our best. It's interesting. We've been doing this for a little while, but it still gets exciting. It's still something that we look forward to. And this Sunday is no exception. And we're here Sunday from 5 to 6 and on Thursday from 6 to 7. And I want to get right into the program because we've got a lot to cover today. Today's agenda, money matters, how your income determines your outcome. What I mean by that is the money that you make, the money that you manage to accumulate is going to determine how your future, how you'll take care of your family, how you take care of yourself. But we're going to explore that in some more depth. And all those who are watching, you can sort of chime in, give us your thought about the whole concept of your income determining your outcome. The quote of the day is, I believe that through knowledge and discipline, financial peace is possible for all of us. And this is from Dave Ramsey, the author of The Total Money Makeover, a proven plan for financial peace. And so as we go through the discussion, what is financial peace? How can we find that in our lifetime? And we gotten to the point where now it's almost a question of the haves or the have-nots. Either you have it or you don't have it. So I always think about those who don't have. And I think those who have, sometimes they have so much they want to be billionaires and trillionaires. But what about the person on the low end of the totem pole? How do they are going to make it? And so again, we encourage you to think about that. We also encourage compassion, because when I think about our country, I think about everybody in the country, not just the haves, but also the have-nots and maybe even those in between. And so again, we're going to have a very good spirited discussion, a conversation, and we invite you to come in the conversation as always. And again, it gives me pleasure to actually introduce this part of our program. And again, we start with Ron's poetry. Ron, what do you have for us this evening?
It's interesting because I like to kind of change a little bit and piggyback off what you just said, about financial freedom. And this is very serious in this moment. We have fun, we laugh and joke, but too often, each and every day, we hear about financial freedom, financial peace, how do you find finance, how do you get wealth. Well, guess what? Mm-hmm. All of that is in your own mindset. Mm-hmm. It depends on how you think. If you don't think, you don't have nothing. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It depends on how you think. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here, if you have a penny, and let's be real, how many of our listeners has changed through pennies away, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No matter how you look at it. You say that, well, I don't want that. What is it? Let me tell you something. I want you to carefully think about this. I don't care how long it takes you. But don't write back now and talk about you want to challenge me. Right? So let me say this. If you have a penny, beyond a penny, you are broke. You know why you're broke? Because you spend everything, you threw it away. You never understood the value of a penny. So financial wealth is in that penny. And in that penny starts with how you think, what you believe, and how you see wealth. What constitutes wealth?
That's right.
No matter how you look at what constitutes wealth. Because if your health is deteriorating based on your ignorance and lack of concern for yourself, you won't have wealth. It doesn't matter. But when you take care of yourself, your mind, your spirit, your emotion, and everything else, and put all that in perspective, then the penny and everything else falls into place. Now you know what financial wealth, financial peace, and financial whatever it is, the blessings. Because blessings come up and they fall. But how far did they fall? Wow. Because once they leave your hand, then your blessings went to somebody else. Now you're mad because somebody else is doing what you should have been doing.
That's right. That's right. They say in the church world, as the praises goes up, the blessings come down, and that's true. But only if you realize that. I think one of the things, Ron, when we talk about wealth and we talk about riches, I think one of the first things to think about, and sometimes we don't think about this soon enough, we have to understand we have wants and we have needs. A lot of people are paying for their wants and neglecting their needs. And they find themselves at a deficit because they have all the things they want, but they don't have the things that they need. But we got to turn it around. First is our needs and then our wants, if there's something left over. But I love what you said about the mindset. You have to get your mind right. You know, we talked about the book that you brought in last week, Think and Grow Rich. The operative word is think. Okay, think and grow rich. Okay, it doesn't happen because of a whim. It doesn't happen because of you would like to see that. No, again, think and grow rich. What is your mindset? What is your attitude about money? Is it something that you feel that you can't really work to become a billionaire or a trillionaire? They get that because of their investments in different stocks and bonds and whatever, maybe some property, maybe some rare minerals, okay, because that's the big thing right now, you know, gold and silver and that kind of thing. So again, I always make a distinction between wealth and riches, okay? You can be wealthy and not rich, okay? Because again, can you sustain that wealth? And that's why we said before that health is wealth, because as you sustain that health, you can go on to get the riches. But if you don't have the health, you're really starting at a deficit. You know?
And to continue with that, understand investment.
Yeah.
Investment is not in somebody else's stuff. Investment starts within you and how you see it. Understand what is investment. You can invest in yourself, invest in your family, invest in your neighbors. Why? Because it's collaboration.
That's right.
The Bible says, "Who is my neighbor?" It also says, "Love your neighbor as you love yourself."
That's right.
That's investment because the barter system was in place long before there was a dollar.
That's right.
Or coin.
That's right. Yeah.
And coin, as many knows, Jesus said, "Whose face is on that coin? Caesar." But surrender unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and surrender to God what belongs to God. Guess what? Caesar and that coin belongs to God.
That's right.
All of us belongs to God. Those who believe. Until you find yourself can't breathe and all of a sudden you scream for who? But anyway, it's investment. Invest in your time, your talent.
That's right.
Every one of us has it. Create it. Creativity.
That's right.
Create something. Nobody's born into the world with on top of the world.
No.
They started with nothing. What's in your hand? That's what God said the most. What's in your hand? I said to you, what's in your hand? What's in your mind? What's in your spirit? What's in your heart?
That's right.
Because that's where God looks. What's in your heart? If you have a closed heart and you selfish, nothing will ever grow. You will never have wealth. You will never have anything. And Jesus said, and I'm quite sure in the Quran or the Torah, whatever, if you appreciate little, I will give you much.
That's right.
No matter how you look at it, appreciate that penny that you just threw away or you walked through because you said, well, don't mean nothing. But guess what? When you go to that store and they say, well, $1.01, and you only get $1,
That's right.
are you going to get that, whatever it is that you're purchasing?
I don't think so. No.
Because they said, we have to pay taxes, so we need that penny.
Yeah.
Don't pay the IRS that penny and see if you're going to have to pay $99.
That's right. They come after you, and it's so funny because again we talk about money, and we're going to look at some things in the Bible, and one of the things in the Bible is that say whatever you decide that you want to do, you have to count the cost. If you want to build a building, how much is it going to cost for material, workmanship, craftsmanship? How much is that going to cost you? If you want to get married, how much does that cost? Can you take care of a family? And when children come along, can you take care of the children? Count the cost as you get into your retirement years. One of the things people have found out is that your Social Security is based on the last money that you made at that particular level. Okay, so if you're at a high level, your Social Security is going to look pretty good. If you're on a lower level, it may not look so good. And again, they say that you should not be really dependent on Social Security for a living, that you should have other things, that you should maybe have pensions, annuities, and that kind of thing. So again, how do you plan for that? You don't plan for retirement at 50 or 60, okay? You plan for retirement when you get that first quote unquote professional job when I got my first professional job at 23. And I say professional because, again, it was making a pretty good amount of money with benefits, okay, with a plan for retirement. I had a situation, I put in a certain amount of money, the college put in a certain amount of money. When I retired, I was able to get all of that, okay? And then after that, I embarked on another career, again, working in that career. So when I retired to the second time, I was able to get my Social Security and my teacher's pension, and now into another, not so much career, but another phase of my life. But I've always kept an eye on my finances because, again, I knew, like health, that would pay off in the long run. And so I'm saying to you is that as we have the discussion about money, it's not about hoarding money, it's making money work for you. And again, a lot of people don't understand how money works. And again, you need to understand that because, again, as you get into your later years, in your 60s and 70s and 80s, you're not going to have that strength. I mean, in my heyday, I was teaching at 2 colleges and 2 universities. I don't have the energy for that now, but because I made that investment, like my brother said, you make an investment, and that investment pays off for you. And again, we look at money, but not just money, but money as assets. Sometimes your assets can really be more than your money because you have places that you can go to get what you need. Your house can be an asset, okay, because you invest in that time, money, and also hard work. So again, we got to be intelligent about this life. We have to be intelligent about our money because, again, it runs so fast. I'm always sort of amused by people who hit the lottery and whatnot, and then they, oh man, they're getting all this money and whatnot. But then you look at them a couple of years later, that money was all gone. And I'm saying, whoa, where did the money go? Well, of course, they bought a house. Of course, they brought some cars because they gave some money to mom and dad and that kind of thing. Nothing wrong with that. But understand that unless you know how to manage that money, it's going to go. And so I would say if you hit the lotto or whatever you hit, whatnot, the first thing you want to do is get a financial manager. Okay? Because if you don't know how to manage money, that money is going to slip through your fingers. It'll go so fast you won't know what hit you. And also understand when you do hit the lotto or whatever, Uncle Sam, that's the first hand out. You got to pay your taxes.
Gotta
do that.
And that's on the surface. But let's go down
A little deeper, yes, please.
I want to go back a half a second. First of all, there's a clear distinction, as you indicated earlier, between a need and a want.
Please.
Unfortunately, too many of society want. You know, you always hear that sound that we want. But what do you need? And don't intertwine the two. What do you need? And I want to kind of shift back and forth.
Yes, please.
Because again, here, we're talking about those who are wealthy. We talk about those invest. We talk about this and that. First of all, understand this very clearly. Those who believe in God or higher power, that higher power invested in you, each and every one of us.
That's right.
We become laborers investing and cultivating in the things that He has provided. That's where the blessings come, because once we invest into natural things, life in itself, we automatically reap the benefit of our return.
That's right.
That's your investment.
Yeah.
The dividends is not what man give us. Your dividends is greater than what God has given you. Because again, I go back to that penny. One little thing. Even if you only had a piece of bread, even if you grew up and said, "Well, we didn't have nothing to eat," but you're still here to tell the story.
That's right.
Which means God has invested in somebody to find somebody to give you something to eat. I don't care if you missed a meal. The fact is, He invested in you enough that you have enough to last you until He decided to call us home. So keep in mind, The investment is in you, but you have to labor for what you get. It's not about you sitting home. And matter of fact, here's something I have an issue with you.
Yeah, please.
And I was telling the brother today, and I say it all the time. First of all, you don't sit back and wait for retirement. There's no such thing. And I tell you why. I'm a firm believer in that because I did it. I didn't look for retirement. If I'm happen to be here and that time came, I automatically put in my ticket and said, look, I'm waiting for the mail to come. Because the saddest thing on each and every single day of our entire life, somebody didn't see it. Somebody didn't wake up. Somebody didn't go to sleep, whatever.
That's right.
And so you work 10, 20, 30 years, well, I put into my pension, put into this. Guess what? You putting your money in somebody else's pocket that you labor for.
Wow.
You said my pension, my retirement. Damn it, did you take it home with you? No. You put in somebody else who made money off your money.
That's right.
And you home crying because you paying the bill.
That's right.
Let's be real. I mean, this is open conversation. Law and uncensored. We're not here to disrespect. We're not here to insult. This is the art of conversation.
That's right.
Too often, I'm going to say this.
Yeah, please.
You hear on a regular basis, and we have on our show, financial people who want to tell you about wealth. But I'm going to use me. I have not heard anyone come to me and say, look, what do you have? Let's take what you have and make it grow.
Okay.
I'm going to show you how to grow. Whether it's a talent, whether it's a gift, whether it's a tool, whatever case may be. Can you cook? Do you know how to even take some bathroom tissue and roll it up? Are you creative? See, that's what's important. That's what investment is. Investment is not you leaving out, take your money, then investing in somebody else's pocket with a hope and a prayer that the stock market don't crash. Somebody else made money off your money, but you lost money, and they didn't come back to give you any return whatsoever. They just said, well, you know, the stock market. Whose stock market?
That's right. That's right.
And why did it crash? And if it crashed, where did the money go?
Well, see, that's the thing, and that's why we really have to have the proper mindset. And the proper mindset is that we have a mindset that is about healthy aging, about lifelong learning. It's about having something to do. One of the things that happen with a lot of people who, quote unquote, retire is that they figure, I'm retired, I can just sit back and just chill. You know, there's no such thing of chilling. Because, again, I've retired twice, and now I'm in a situation where I'm doing what I love. I'm doing what my passion is. My passion is reading and writing and teaching. And so, again, I'm invested in that. And the more I master that particular field, the more money that I can really look forward to earning. Because, again, just because you retire doesn't mean you stop making money. You know, as a matter of fact, as quiet as it's kept, you have more time to make money because you can look at other opportunities. I think a lot of times what happens, we get really sort of lazy, and then we get lazy, and that's when you really get old. You get old when you stop engaging in life, when you stop looking for opportunities to make yourself a better person. And I'm not saying to make yourself a better person to be better than someone else. I would say make yourself a better person to take those gifts that God has given you and make those gifts something that you can be invested in. Because, again, people like excellence. They will pay for excellence. They will pay for a man who can create a beautiful suit or a beautiful shirt, someone who can design a beautiful building. Okay, people will invest in that, and they don't mind investing in that because that's something that they want, and really it's something that we need because we all need shelter, we all need food, and more important to that, I think we all need something to do. You know, although I may not be working for someone, I'm working to make myself a better person and to be an example for my children. And so as we go through this particular program, we're going to hit on a lot of things. And again, today's agenda is how your income, how what you take in determines your outcome. Okay? So again, there's money in and there's talents and abilities that are out. And also, again, your income also determines not just your living situation, but also your health in many instances. You know, if you're living in a a community which they consider a food desert, which means that good food is so far away from you that you'll just do the fast foods and the delis and also places where they don't sell the good food. You know, you want to be next to a farmer's market, because I'm at the point in my life, Ron, where I tell you, if I can't get good food, I'll skip a meal. Okay, if I can't get the good salad and the things I need, the water and that kind of stuff, I'm not going to, settle for less, because I know that's going to help me keep my body strong. And as I keep my body strong, that's an investment in myself that can translate into money. And again, and money, as I see it, is just an exchange. It's just energy that is exchanged among people. That's why you were saying before that, back in the day, was the barter system. I bring something to you, you bring something to me. I mean, I know when I was a kid, I remember when it was snow, and we had some serious snowstorms back there, and me and a group of guys would get together, and we would buy shovels, okay? And we would go to different people's house and knock on their door. Miss so-and-so, or Mr. so-and-so, can I shovel your walk, And of course, they'll pay you for it. We would walk around the whole neighborhood shoveling snow and making money, okay? Back in the day, I don't think, sometimes they do some place, shining shoes. I get my little shoe box, I got my polish and whatnot, I got my rag, I'm popping my rag and whatnot, and I'm doing that. Again, a service to make money. I think, again, if you're talking about making money, the most money that we make is giving a service. What is the service? Is it food? Is it education? Is it improvement? Can I give you a pedicure? Can I give you a manicure? Can I give you a haircut? It's so funny. We joke about our ghetto environments. In every corner there's a liquor store, but also in every corner there's a barber shop. I know where I live. There's 1, 2, 3 barber shops in a really small space. Okay, but all those barber shops are hopping. Now there's a fourth one. Now there's 4 barber shops, and again, they're offering a service. And I believe that in the final analysis, we're here to serve each other. We're not here to be used or abused by each other, but we're here to give service. So what service are you getting so you can make yourself some money?
Legal service.
Yeah, right. That's important. Yeah.
As we all know, at least those who are aware, at least those who think about it, tomorrow is not promised.
It's not. No.
Period. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it.
No.
I don't care how you want to challenge it. Tomorrow is not promised.
Yeah.
Yesterday is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So today, what have you thought about, thinking about the moment you woke up and was able to breathe the air that you really didn't deserve?
That's right.
But because somebody invested in all of us, they gave us the breath of life.
That's right.
So if I give you the breath of life because I invested in you, I believe in you. So I want you to get up and invest in.
That's right.
The barter system is like, if I have something to trade, but if I have this and you need that, so yeah, the money comes and says, look, but I'm not here to kill you. You see, you kill your own blessing when you overcharge somebody.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I think you're right, and that's exactly why you're broke. Let me be honest with you.
Yeah, please.
And again, we're not here to criticize, crucify, whatever. We look at comments, and that's what's important. We want you to be honest with it.
We do.
You look at the money, and matter of fact, as you indicated with barbershops are popping up like bars.
Boom.
You see, everybody got a barbershop. So the bottom line is, there's a difference between taking care of yourself and the manicure and everything else.
Yes.
But the money you spend in a barbershop, which they're providing a service.
That's right.
You pay for that service.
That's right.
So is it investment for you? Where's your wealth? See, the thing is, the word life doesn't say we're not supposed to treat ourselves. We are.
Yeah, we are.
Take care of yourself. Treat yourself. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
But it's the amount of time and money you are invested in something that only lasts you a second. And let's be real. Again, I'm not attacking those who want to treat themselves, whether you go to haircut or beard or whatever.
Yeah.
But you look at the amount of money you're spending on a regular basis, and you come home talking about you don't have no money, you don't have nothing to eat. You can't
Where did my money go?
Where is the difference between the need and the want? You see, the word to me says, "I'll supply all of your needs according to riches and glories in heaven."
That's right.
There's nothing saying that you can't treat yourself to your wants.
That's right.
But you won't find anything and say, "Look, I'll give you all you want." But then understand, depends on how you read it and interpret it. He'll get what you want. But now you're mad because what you want, what you asked for, is what you got. You see, now you don't like it.
Yeah.
God said, "Hey, well, that's what you asked for. I gave you what you wanted, not what you needed."
That's true. And one more thing in terms of the barbershop industry, a good friend of mine, some years back, well, many years back, he was a licensed barber, and what he did, he actually brought a building, and the way he had it set up around is he had the barbershop downstairs, and upstairs was an apartment for him and his wife. Now, what happened is that the city came in and they wanted to use that property for a development, and so they brought him out, and he moved around the corner, and now he just has the barbershop, but he lives elsewhere. But the point I'm making is that I thought it was brilliant that he had a barbershop in a living place. I think what happens, we look at the buildings now, and they need to be multi-use buildings, okay? Have a barbershop, have an apartment, and now I think it'd be have a barbershop, have a beauty salon, all in the same place, okay? And again, you might want to even build another level to have something else. But I think we just have to be smart about our investments and smart about our money and make our money work for us. And again, I think we do that by offering a service. And even education is a service. I found it myself while I was in the educational field. You know, certain teachers, if you put their name on a class, students will flock to that class. I want to take Professor Benjamin's class. And I get 30 plus students. I get 30 plus, and I get people say, "Professor Benjamin, can I get into your class?" On the other hand, we had teachers who were not very popular. And I say not very popular, not because teaching is a popularity contest. It's just that students want value. And make a long story short, there were professors who were not attracting students. Again, you know, you're talking about money. And so they would put these classes, and then they would put staff where it has teachers. So you're like 4 staff designations, and realizing that, well, those are not, they're not telling you who the teachers are right away. And then the student goes in, they find out that's not the teachers they want. Make a long story short, education is about money, about service. And I think that, you know, it says in the Bible that a workman deserves his wage. And so as we go through our program, we're going to talk more about money. And again, like I said, your income determines your outcome. But I want to move into another segment, and this is the Music is Lit segment. And again, I always try to tell a story in the 3 songs that I present. And again, it is on the theme of money, but it's also on the theme of relationships. So again, I want to start with Music is Lit, and I want to start at a very humorous song that was actually released in 1965. And again, this is a song that's actually written by Smokey Robinson. A lot of people don't know it because it was actually performed by a group called the Contours. And they were a member of the Motown family back in the day. And so this is 1965, the Contours, and it's entitled First, I Look at the Purse. And the first line reads, what does every man look at first? And we're talking about a woman. So what does every man look at first? Some fellas look at the eyes. Some fellas look at the nose. Some fellas look at the size. Some fellas look at the clothes. I don't care if the eyes are red. I don't care if the nose is long. I don't care if she's underfed. I don't care if her clothes are worn. Why? Oh, why? 'Cause first, I look at the purse. Some fellas look at the smiles they wear. Some fellas look at the legs. That's all. Some fellas look at the styles of hair. Some fellas want their waist to be small. I don't care if the teeth are big. I don't care if the legs are big. I don't care if their hair is a wig. Why waste time looking at the waistline? Why, oh why? Well, because I first look at the purse. A woman can be fine as can be, with kisses sweet as honey, but things don't mean a thing to me if she ain't got no money. Because if the purse is fat, yeah. Some fellas look at the way they walk, some look at the way they sway, some feel like the way they talk, and some fellas dig the things they say. But I don't care if she wobbles like a duck or talk with a lisp. I still think I'm in good luck if the dollar bills are crisp. Why, oh why? Because first I look at the purse. First I look at the purse. Try to tell you, first I look at the purse. Yeah. First I look at the purse. Kisses can be sweet as honey. First I look at the purse, but I want me some money. First I look at the purse. She can be covered with a rash. First I look at the purse, as long as she got some cash. First I look at the purse. I want a big fine car. First I look at the purse. I want one suit. First I look at the purse like a Hollywood star. And this is written by Smokey Robinson. Again, there's some humor in that, but again, what is the value of a man in these days and ages? What is the value of a woman? Is it simply in her beauty? Is it simply in her intellect? Whatever. What do we look at when we look at a man? Now, this song is a little more serious, and it's also another classic when we talk about money. This is from the OJs, and this is from 1973, and this is entitled "For the Love of Money," classic OJs, and it begins, money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Some people got to have it. Some people really need it. Listen to me, y'all. Do things, bad things with it. You want to do things, good things with it. Talk about cash money. Dollar bill, y'all. Come on now. Talking about money, for the love of money. People will steal from their mother for the love of money. People will rob their own brother for the love of money. People can't even walk the street because they never know who the world they're going to be for that mean green almighty dollar money. For the love of money, people will lie. People will cheat. For the love of money, people don't care who they hurt or beat. For the love of money, a woman will sell her precious body for a small piece of paper. It carries a lot of weight. Cause that mean green almighty dollar. I know that money is the root of all evil. Do funny things to some people. Give me a nickel, brother, can you spare a dime? Money can drive some people out of their minds. For the love of money, don't sell your soul for money. For the love of money, lay down, a woman will lay down. Money is the root of all evil. Do funny things to some people. Give me a nickel, brother, can you spare a dime? Money can drive some people out of their minds. Got to have it, I really need it. For the love of money, give it up. For the love of money, got to have it, some people really need it. For the love of money, give me cash money. Save your soul, don't sell it for that mean green. People know that money don't let money change you. Almighty dollar, keep on telling you, people, that money don't let money change you. Almighty dollar, keep on changing up your mind. Keep on changing up your mind, changing up your mind for the love of money. Again, a classic tune that everybody knows. And the last song that I want to do in this segment is really a tribute to Plainfield. I have a lot of experience with Plainfield. I worked at Plainfield. I was the assistant director of the Plainfield campus when they started it. And I got a chance to meet a lot of people in Plainfield. As a matter of fact, a lot of people to this day think that I lived in Plainfield because they saw me all the time in Plainfield. And Plainfield is the home of George Clinton, who is the P-Funk master, the gentleman who is still alive, is still alive and still making movies. I mean, making music. So this song is from the early George Clinton discography, where he started, as a matter of fact, at one time, George Clinton actually had a barbershop in Plainfield, and he would cut hair, and also at that time they would do the process, so you remember that. And so at that time, and then they would sing in the barbershop. And so he went on to make a career out of music. And this is from 1967. And this is a song called I Want to Testify. And this was the Parliaments before they became Funkadelic, before they sort of stretched out in that. And so, again, one of my favorite songs, again, like another classic, and this is I Want to Testify from the Parliaments. George Clinton out front here. And it says here, friends, inquisitive friends are asking me what's come over me. A change. There's been a change, and it's oh so plain to see. Love just walked in on me and took me by surprise. Happiness surrounds me. You can see it in my eyes. Now, it was just a little while ago. My life was incomplete. I was down so doggone low, I had to look up at my feet. Don't you know, I want to testify what your love has done for me. Everybody sing, I just want to testify, oh girl, what your love has done for me. Luscious. Sure been delicious to me. Hear me out. Luscious. Sure been delicious to me. Once I was a hollow man in which a lonely heart did dwell. Then love came sneaking up on me, bringing life to an empty shell. Now, I heard so many times before that your love can be so bad, but I just want to tell you people, it's the best love I ever had. Talking about I just want to testify what your love has done for me. Sing everybody, oh girl, I just want to testify what your love has done for me. Hear me now. Luscious, sure been delicious to me. Bring it home now. I just want to testify what your love has done for me. Everybody sing, I just want to testify what your love has done for me. And that's, I want to testify, that's from the Parliament before they just went crazy and became Funkadelic and all the crazy songs that they did. But again, man, that was part of my youth, because I graduated from high school in 1968, and that song came out the summer before, and we were jamming on that. But again, music is lit, because it really amazes me that some of the things we're dealing right now was in that music back there in the day, and we're still dealing with that, And it's like, what have we learned? It's 2025. We haven't learned the lessons of for the love of money, how it can put us in different ways. But in the Bible, it says that money, like wisdom, is for protection. Wisdom, intellect is for protection. Money is for protection. It's not to hoard and to rule over people that have less than you. It is, and I say the money is energy. You put it out there, you get it back, and you get it back in different ways. You may put in $1, and you might get $2 worth of service back. When you go to your barbershop or your beauty salon, you get your hair cut, you get your beard trim or whatever you do, you get your manicure and your pedicure, and you leave a tip. Okay, that tip is for service rendered. And again, and I do believe, Ron, the final analysis, I do believe that we're put on this planet, on this earth, to be of service to each other, to be of service. And as we're of service, as we give service, and it's fair exchange to pay for that service, and even to give a tip, because the service was not just good, but it was excellent. And so as we go on to the next part of our program is food for thought. And in this particular part of the program, we're going to talk about money. Money matters. And we're talking about money matters in terms of dating. Money matters in terms of marriage. Money matters in terms of family. Money matters in terms of business. And money matters in the terms of the Bible. And so, Ron, we got some, I know we're not going to be able to cover all these topics, because I'm talking about dating, marriage, family, business, and the Bible. But I'm gonna let you. What do you want to talk about? How you want to start this conversation? You want to talk about dating? You want to talk about marriage? You want to talk about family, business, and the Bible? Money matters in all of these areas, and we're going to just have a little brief conversation about this. So, what say you, my brother? What are we going to talk about first?
You know, all of it is investment.
Yeah,
But you
that's
have
the
to
key. That's
understand
key.
the quality of investment.
Mm.
You can be foolish or you can be wise.
That's right.
You can sit back and ask the question. You can have a dialogue.
Mm.
You can allow yourself to become mature
Yes.
and
Yeah.
understanding. You see, the Bible says, Proverbs 3 and 5,
Mhm.
all thy ways get an understanding.
That's right.
You know, no matter how you look at it. And so everything that you need to see and talk about, everything we talk about, is written. Like I said, it's either in the Bible, in the Quran, or the Torah, or any book that's of inspirational that really helps you. The only book that's not read, and the only book that gets thrown away, and the only book that's always destroyed, and the only book that gets burned up is you. No matter how you look at it. Look at your own story. Look at yourself. Look at your book. Did you write your book? Did you write your story? Did you write poetry? Did you sing songs or whatever? And here, as I said in the opening, this platform represents artists of all backgrounds. Writers, singers, spoken word, artistic expressions, and painting, literature, poetry, and a journey through life. Everything, even music of lit,
That's right.
is poetry. It's a story.
That's right.
They wrote a story. If you listen to the lyrics of it, then you can see and listen and understand the message of it.
That's right. That's right.
Set the music aside. Close your ears to the music and listen to the words. What is the message all about? What are they saying? So yes, investment is in relationships and marriage. It starts really in you.
That's right.
But if you don't invest in life, you can't invest in anything else. And so there's a service, a product, and a service. What product do you have? What service are you presenting? And see, again, no matter how you look at it, if you want to be in a relationship, are you going to invest in it?
Yes, sir. Right.
What kind of service are you bringing? What kind of product do you have? If it's marriage, it's an investment.
That's right.
If it's, no matter how you look at
It's
every
just
category
family.
you look at,
Yeah.
it's an investment. And if you don't invest in life itself, then everything else doesn't matter, because again, if you're investing in what appears to be the stock market, who says to you, there's no hope in the prayer that you're going to get something. The difference is when you invest in life, that's guaranteed. You're guaranteed an investment. You guaranteed dividends. You guaranteed to see another day of blessings.
That's right. Right.
But if you don't get that because you didn't wake up because it was your time for whatever reason, or unfortunate, those who lost their lives, it's one thing. But tomorrow's not. That's why tomorrow's not promised.
That's
so
right.
what are you doing today to invest in the things that has just been presented to you?
Yeah.
It starts with you.
That's right. And again, and we talk about mindset. I want to go to one of the books by Dave Ramsey. I started with his quotation. I said here, I believe that through knowledge and discipline, financial peace is possible for all of us. And Dave Ramsey is also a person who says that to have what others don't have, you have to do what others won't do. When you go to college, when you invest in a college education, you have to understand that you're going to have to spend nights studying. Okay, you might want to go out with your friends, but you can't, because you have to study. You're doing what others won't do so you can have what others don't have. It was a joke back in the day about a lot of women go to colleges not to graduate, but to find a husband. And although that's sort of jokey, it does have some merit, because if a woman is in college and her potential husband is also in college, you see this is a man working toward his future. And again, we want, when a man or a woman is looking at a potential marriage mate, they're looking at things beyond the physical beauty. That might be the starting point, but you want to look beyond that, because again, money is invested. Money is spent in dating. When you're dating someone, you want to make sure that you present your best possible picture to that person. Gentlemen, You're going on a date. You got to make sure the suit is right, that your shirt is right, that you got a haircut, whatever, you shave your beard and whatnot. Make sure your clothes are clean. Make sure your clothes are pressed. Make sure your shoes are looking good. That's an investment. That takes money. When you get married, my son, when he was talking about getting married, I said, first of all, let me ask you something. Can you afford to take care of that woman? Okay, we know that marriage is, they say 50-50. I don't know if I agree with that, but you got a husband and your wife, and maybe sometimes the husband and the wife have to work. But my whole thing, and maybe I'm old-fashioned, Ron, but I believe, especially when my first marriage, I said I would not marry this woman unless I could take care of her. And that means taking care of her whether she worked or not. My wife, my first marriage, we decided as a couple that she wouldn't work, that she would stay home and take care of the children. We had a boy and 2 girls. And so none of my children went to kindergarten because we felt that was a waste of time. She could teach them their colors and their letters and that kind of stuff in the home. And so they went straight on to the first grade. But that was an investment in their early education. And so dating requires money. Marriage requires money. Family. I never wanted my children to feel that they lacked anything. I wanted to make sure that the refrigerator was filled, that they had entertainment, they had nice bedrooms and nice furniture, whatever, because I wanted them to feel that this was their home, that they could really enjoy themselves to live there. And so again, that took for me a level of money investment. We talk about people who have businesses. It hurts my heart, Ryan, when I walk around our city and I see so many businesses closed. And really, and I'm thinking around, they put so much money into that business, into that startup, and it didn't last. And it's so heartbreaking when the mayor comes out and they do this big ribbon cutting and they take the pictures and whatnot, and you think that this business is going to make it in 2-3 months, sometimes less. That building is shuttered. You see there's a for sale sign there. And for me, I don't know these people personally, but I know that they put effort, they put money into their dream, man. And that didn't pan out. And I wonder what are they going to do now? What's going to happen to them, because they put the money in there. They put the income in there for a certain outcome, and the outcome was not what they thought it would be. And for me, that's kind of heartbreaking. But they say it takes money to make money, but they put the money in there, but it just didn't work out.
You know, a foolish person loses every time, no matter how you look at it. Yeah. So we're right back to investment and wealth, which is true. Mm-hmm. And as you indicated, you find so many businesses closed up. You ask yourself, or even ask a business owner, why? Majority of the time it says, well, I couldn't afford it. Why? Well, nobody bought anything. Why? I couldn't afford this. Why? Let's talk about the why. W-H-Y. And you can break it and put in acronyms all you want. But let's look at the why. And let me say, in short, the why is because you fail to see what's in front of you. You're too busy looking at the forest for the trees. But the problem is not the forest or the tree. The problem is in between. Did you see where you were stepping? Did you understand where you were stepping? Do you know where you were stepping? What is there? Is it quicksand? Is it a landmine? Is it thorns or thistle? But what are you determined to do to get to the other side is the important. Well, reason why, in my opinion, reason why they fail is because you charge so much, or somebody provided you a space that charged you that you can't afford. You knew you couldn't afford it when you went to the place to rent it. But you thought, if I have this, everybody's going to flock to it. It don't work that way. Life does not work that way. But if you have little and you give little, and I'm not talking about free, but you'd be surprised. You will have a long line far beyond the horizon. You know why? Because people want something because of your kindness, your hospitality. You gave me a meal when I was hungry. I'm here to return, because you never know who the heck you are serving, who's in that line, because they look the way that the way you don't think they should look.
Yeah.
But those are the ones who have something. Those are the ones who's passing on blessings. Those are the ones who have money, who don't flaunt it or give it away, whatever. But they give it away to somebody who deserves it. So the question is, a business failed because you don't invest not only in you don't invest in your neighbors. And let's talk about this culture.
Yeah, please.
See, a lot of cultures talk about they invest in themselves. They may not get along with each other, but they invest in themselves.
That's right. Yeah.
What about this culture?
That's right. Yeah.
This culture talk about, well, we need to invest. We need to invest in who? We don't invest in each other. We don't come together. We won't talk about, well, I don't see what you have. If I come to get a tool from you, you want to charge me, well, I'll give it to you for $25. I only need it for a second. Well, I tell you what. Can I give you $5? Oh, no. So, guess what? Now you don't have no customers. Right. Now you got tools you can't use, so there's no service, and you don't have a product for somebody to rent. This is why, in short, because I was doing construction, home repairs, whatnot. I was losing money because people didn't want to pay me. But instead, they paid the man, the other side, they paid him, and whatever he charged. But I was losing money, okay? So the thing is, I bought my tools because I was renting tools. The money I was spending to rent tools, I said, well, let me buy my own tools. I bought my own tools. But I wasn't charging you when I do the work. I was just charging for the job.
That's right.
And I'm still losing. We, and I'm going to say this, you can hold me accountable, I don't care. We as a whole are our worst enemy in today's society. Our ancestors invested in each other. Even when they didn't have a pot to when they didn't have a penny in their pocket, they labored to help their neighbors. Somebody, you had midwives, you had men coming out digging the garden to help cultivate the garden and whatnot. What the heck are you doing today? We come on the show, we talk to you, we ask that you talk to us, but we hear the exact same thing. Whether it's this podcast, somebody else's podcast, was the news or anything else, or somebody else's stuff. But what are you doing to your neighbor? Do you even know the hell your neighbor is? You don't talk to him. And that's what's important. So again, we talk about finance, we talk about wealth. All of this is in what we're talking about today and continue even from day one. What are you investing in?
That's a good point, and I just want to make 2 points here. One is from Dave Ramsey again. He says here, doing a budget means learning an ancient and powerful word, no. You can't afford that right now. Okay, you can't do that right now. Okay, that's a need. That's is it a need or is it a want? Okay, you know, and from the Bible, again, it says here, 1 Timothy 6:9. It says here, but those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. And that's why you sort of get so full of yourself that you don't realize that you're in the business to provide a service, okay? And sometimes we forget that. And that's why, you know, again, we are on this program, we are content creators. And we can't get so into ourselves that we feel that we can just come on and say everything or anything. So we want to make sure that even though we may be content creators, you have to want our content. And so again, we come to you with the idea that these are things that you can take away, that you can build upon. And again, as always, you know, we find ourselves in a situation where, you know, we're talking about different books. But I think, again, the Bible is one of the oldest books, and I think it has wisdom that is ageless. And I'm going to Ecclesiastes 7:12. It says here, for protection of wisdom is like the protection of money, and the advantage of knowledge that wisdom presents the life of preserves the life of who has it. In other words, wisdom is for protection, like money is for protection. And so again, I don't knock people who are wealthy or rich or whatever. Don't knock that, because I appreciate their effort. Okay, but again, understand sometimes the richest people are not the smartest people. They made investments. They had advantages that you might not have. It may be just a generation. Maybe they were born into wealth. Like many of us were born into poverty. But because you were born into poverty, that doesn't mean that you have to stay there. I mean, I definitely was born into poverty, but I did everything I could to get out of that because, again, I didn't want that for my children, and I didn't want that for my children's children. So, again, sometimes we have to have that long view where, we know what's in front of us, but we have to look beyond that. And, again, the whole thing about wealth is that you have to find a way to sustain that. And sometimes it's not money, just money, it's other things. Because this book right here, it's entitled "The Wealth That Money Can't Buy: 8 Hidden Habits to Live Your Richest Life." The 8 hidden habits to live your richest life. And so again, we want you to live your best life now. We want you to live in abundance. So again, you're not really living from day to day, hour to hour. You have some future ahead of you. And so, Ron, as always, man, we come to almost the end of the program where we try to wrap some things up. But this is such a broad topic. We might have to revisit again, and we're going to revisit again, and we're going to get into some financial advisors, people who deal with money. And what we presented was not from a professional; it was really from a biblical and from a secular type situation. But Ron, I'm going to let you sort of wrap some things up for us, okay?
Yeah, we have two minutes, but I want to take a couple seconds on each one of these. First of all, lottery tickets. How many of you out there buy lottery tickets and the amount of money you spend? So really, that's your wealth right there. Because on a hope and a prayer that you might hit that lottery ticket, look at the amount of money you spend on that ticket. And then as you said earlier, those who hit the lottery are broke, dead, crazy, or something. But how many of them truly invest? Then the other thing, too, you look at Warren Buffett. He started with a little house. He's still living in that same house. He's a billionaire. Look at Bill Gates. He started in his garage. Where he had a thought and idea. No matter how you look at what are you doing with the thought and idea other than wasting your money and your time and talent.
That's right.
See, that's where the wealth is. It's in your time and talent. No matter how you look at it. Invest in yourself, invest in your neighbor, invest in each other. Come together. I'm not here to try to overcharge you, but if I go and get a watermelon from someplace, am I going to come back and charge you for the gas and toll and everything else, and all of a sudden you can't afford it? Hey, I picked these watermelons. Would you like one?
That's
Yeah,
right.
$7.
That's right. Yeah.
But then don't pay the $7 or take the watermelon and spit it out in the street because you didn't care, because whatever. See, the thing is, you waste more than what you actually save and invest in.
Wow.
Those are facts. And so the other thing too, let me say this in 5 seconds, and because I don't have time to read it, but I just want to say that the rise of freedom. I read this before, but it's a continuation. Also want to use this, but I'm not using it as an insult. This is important. I'm going to come back to this. This picture here, this sister right here, Harbin, I think it's Harbin if I pronounce it right. And I want to say this because we're going to tie it into later. This sister, born deaf and blind, went to Harvard Law School, got a law degree, was recognized by Obama, deaf and blind. And I'm saying this not to use her as an insult because I'm inspired by her.
That's right.
The insult is the fact that you can see, you can hear,
That's right.
and yet still, like Jesus said, he who have an ear, let him hear, let him listen. But what are you doing?
That's so true. And the thing is that we have to understand that no matter where we are in life, we can also go a step further. And sometimes that takes us working together. Like Ron said, we have a community out there. We have a community of thinkers, of people who are creative in many different areas. And I like to see us come together. I like to see us put our talents together and really build a future that is worthy of our time. Not realizing that it's not just about you or I, it's about you and I and those who have come before us and those who will come after us. And so when we share this information for you, we hope that you take it and you talk it among yourself and your family. And again, we come to you today because of some collaborative efforts. You know, our engineer tonight was Pierre. He's the one that handles the things so you can see us and hear us and hopefully interact with us. And after the program, I will be reaching out to some of those who have commented, you know, just to say thank you. And thank you to keep on listening and share what we have. And again, we are here on Sunday from 5 to 6, and on Thursday from 6 to 7. And as Poetically Speaking, it is the place for the spoken word. It's a place for us to present to you things that we hope that you can use. And I want Ron just to take 1 minute to just say goodbye to everybody.
You know, once again, it is truly a pleasure to hear you, to know that you are watching, and we are here harmoniously. With all due respect, we want to continue to extend our love and appreciation because, again, you never know what tomorrow may bring. So those voices and the people we see today, we truly want to say thank you while you have the breath in your life, in you, to say thank you. I spoke with them because I had 2 services on Friday, one in the morning and one in the evening. So you never know. So once again, we truly thank you and have a safe and pleasant evening.
Okay, on that note, we will say good night until we see you again.